If enough time goes by, my bookshelves will inevitably become a mess, as they are right now. I don't have enough space for new books. I have random piles of books scattered throughout my room, and I want to bring some order into the chaos. So I'm gonna do a bookshelf decluttering reorganization thing, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than what I would usually do. Thanks for being back. My name is Leonie. If you're new here, welcome. So a little bit about my bookshelves. As always, I have my bookshelves behind my desk. This is my desk. I work here because I don't have a lot of space to work with. I have put my bookshelves behind, and I don't really have a lot of like extra space. I've already started stacking books on top of the bookshelves, but I keep acquiring books. It just never stops. But I found a solution, okay? I believe that there is a lie that we've all been told, a rule that we are all just living under, and that is the idea that your books have to go on a bookshelf. But they don't have to. I love seeing pictures of people who have books scattered around their house, you know, in the windowsill, on their nightstand, just turning them into a little table, whatever. There are so many ways that you can store books throughout your house. We don't need to be confined to the oppressive idea of the bookshelf, okay? So what I'm gonna do today, I'm going to, of course, clean up my bookshelf because there's just a lot of random things on it. And I'm gonna take stuff out of it and somehow just turn my room into a giant bookshelf. I've looked long and hard at my books thinking, maybe I should get rid of some books. You know, like I did last year? This almost a year ago, I made this video and I created a pile of books that I wanted to get rid of. You know what happened to those books? I still have them. They're just over there. I still have them. I haven't gotten rid of them yet. So we're also gonna look at that. Because I currently have books scattered around my room, but it doesn't look good. Like, it's clearly just a mess, and we're gonna make the mess look nice. We take the mess and we make it pretty. Let's look at the bookshelf first and just clean it up a little and then start creating little piles. Hello and welcome to the assortment of random crap that lives on my bookshelf. Empty water bottles. Except this one isn't actually empty. We can throw that away. Christmas decoration in August. Oh, I forgot I had these. Stickers and also random wrapping paper that I thought was really pretty and didn't want to throw away. A lot of postcards, including Christmas cards and postcards for my birthday almost exactly a year ago. A really cute picture of my parents getting married. Sailor Venus soda can. Obviously this one is staying. This is a very cool embosser that I can use to emboss my books with my name. It's super cool, but I just need to find a better place for it. I'm gonna put these in their appropriate places. You know what I also store on my bookshelf together with my random number of daily necessities? The sponsor of today's video, Loop. Loop make noise reducing earplugs that allow me to do whatever I want without getting overstimulated by noise or getting hearing damage. They have different earplug types for different situations. I mostly use their Experience Plus line. They filter out 18 decibels of sound, but still allow you to hear all the important things. For example, these are my go-to for concerts. They protect my ears while still making me able to hear the music very well. Protect your ears, kids. And tomorrow I'm actually going on a little weekend away, so I'm taking with me the Loop Quiet line. These filter out 27 decibels of noise and I use these to sleep. It makes a huge difference to the quality of my sleep when I'm in like a busy holiday environment. Loop earplugs also just look nice. I love like the looping design, so when you know, put effort into a nice outfit for a concert or festival, the earplugs can fit your vibe. If you would also like to introduce some calm into your life, you can click the link in my description to get your own Loop earplugs. And thank you so much to Loop for sponsoring the channel. I think step one, oh, you can really hear my laptop screaming in the background. The first order of business is to actually find the books that I want to take off the shelves to turn into little piles. I think the biggest problem area, like the shelf that is overflowing the most, is my adult fantasy shelf. It's this one. I organize my books by genre. Yeah, there's not really a lot of space and I know more is coming. Like, there's more that I need to add to it. So I need to take some books off of this shelf, but I don't know which one. I would love to create a little pile with my favorite adult fantasy books, because some of my favorite books are adult fantasy. And they tend to have covers that look really nice together. Like these, you see? That's a vibe together. I'm just gonna set it aside and look at that. Suddenly we have space. And there's still no room for new books. Oh boy, I'm gonna climb on my table. Danger. Danger. Oh, I should probably not have a candle while I'm doing things like this. I don't know why I have The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin, which is definitely a sci-fi book. So I'm just gonna pretend like the YA sci-fi shelf up there is now just a normal sci-fi shelf. I could, of course, make a little Dark Academia pile. I don't know how many piles I can make. How many piles of books can one stack in one's room? No, I'm gonna not do that yet. Okay, we've got more space. We've got like high fantasy going on right there. Okay, I guess these aren't really high fantasy, but they just have the same height. And this is like more atmospheric, cozy fantasy. This shelf is fine for now. Same for my non-fiction shelf. We'll see what we can do with this. Oh, and then my TBR shelf. Yeah! I've taken out some books that I'm lending from people, so that I should probably prioritize them and give them back. The House in Cerulean Sea, I have already read this and I am going to give it back soon. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, I still haven't read this. And then I have already read these. So the Foxhole Court, if you've never heard of this, this is one of those Tumblr cult following books about like sports, mafia, romance. It's unhinged. It is officially one of the most unhinged things I've ever read in my entire life. And of course I made a video about it for you guys, which I'm currently working on. It's gonna be something. I'm so excited to share that video with you. It's gonna be an experience. Second pile. It's all looking nice and clean right now, but in a way that's like no other books are gonna be able to be added here. That's a problem for later. Step 2 is take a look at the piles that are already scattered around my room because of mess and make them not a mess. Let's take a look at this huge pile that is next to my bed. Oh, it's really dusty. Oh, that's really dusty. Yeah. Oh, I call this pile my to be read, and sorry, there's just too much dust. I call this pile my pile of books that I'm currently reading, wanna read soon, and also books that were too big to fit anywhere else. Oh no, okay. Let's start at the top, shall we? I'm currently reading The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, so that's why it's at the top. These are 2 Book of the Month books that I'm very excited about. Ellie Hazelwood's new romance. And this is Chloe Gong's adult debut, and I'm reading this for my Patreon book club. Ted Chiang's short story collection I'm also currently reading. Should probably bring this to the top a little bit more. Oh, and then, oh man, forgot about this. Romantic comedy. I actually heard bad things about it, so I didn't want to read it anymore. I just kept it in the pile. Oh, right! I forgot that I was currently reading this. This is what happens when you put it in a pile. Short story collection by Angela Carter. Then I have here. Oh! I want to find a better spot for it, but it's so large. I don't know what to do with this like fully illustrated guide to Zelda Breath of the Wild, one of my most prized possessions. Oh, look at that! I love concept art, so I would like to find a better place for it. I just don't know. I used to have it like in the fireplace, but that's also filled with other stuff. Where could I put this? And then another really big, tall, illustrated book. Oh, and then I also have a little puzzle book. I'm just gonna put it here with my diary. This pile is going to stay. I really like having a little TBR pile next to my bed. And I like the looks of having a random little stack of book on the ground, okay? Okay, moving on to, I think, the most messy book place in my room. There's a lot going on here, and it's not just my horrible cable management that I've conveniently just left out of the shot. So the inside of this like old fireplace is what I've used over the years to just store books that I couldn't really find another place for. So the main thing is all of my Book of the Month books. Book of the Month have been sponsoring my videos for a while, which I'm super grateful for, and because of that they sent me their books. But it's kind of a lie, I don't have space for them. Also, just want to say, the reason that they're turned around is not some kind of diss. I love Book of the Month. It's just that because this is such like a prominent place in my room, I found that turning them around just makes the whole thing a little bit easier on the eye, because otherwise there was just a little bit too much going on, because this is like literally in the middle of my room. I have to look at it all the time, and I like things to be at least slightly like easy on the eye. So no diss to any of these books. It's purely for like my personal calm. Then I have here books that I was supposed to unhaul and then didn't. Let's take a look. We've got this really nice illustrated edition of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Very cool illustrations, but I unfortunately really didn't care for this book, so I still want to get rid of it. Yeah. I still want to get rid of it. My edition of An Ember in the Ashes, enjoyed it, but never gonna continue it. Now here's the thing, this is the hard one. I have here my Fairy Loot books from the 3 months that I was a Fairy Loot representative, which was so cool. And even though I did not enjoy both of these books, I'm honestly kind of glad I didn't get rid of it, because when I look at this, I'm just immediately transported back to that time of my life, and it was really nice. So I kind of want to keep them as a memorabilia, except for this one. This one I never read. I have no interest in reading it, so I can put that away. And then the last random pile is this. These are books that I bought at a thrift store recently, if you've seen my vlog on my second channel. Mostly I want to use these for collage making and art journaling, so I want to put them in a place where I can easily access them. I think I'm just going to stow these away with my art supplies, and I don't necessarily need to put them on display, even though they look cool. Except for this one. This is a book about Dutch castles and ghosts. Super cool and illustrated, so I think I'm gonna put this with the big non-fiction books that I keep on top of my shelves. I could also put the Zelda book there. Another random pile of books that I forgot about, because it's just been sitting here for so long. I'll put Hans Christian Andersen with Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I know it doesn't look terribly different, but it's just a little bit cleaner, and that's what I was going for. I just put these fairy loot books over here as a memory, and then I made a little extra pile of some of my book of the month books that I still really want to read, but not like so excited that I want to put them on my currently soon reading pile next to my bed. There's a system. There's a system. Hello, it's me dropping in from the future because I lost this piece of footage, but I shared some very important information, so I'm just gonna share it again. Basically, I just want to explain my thought process for my genius idea for one of my problems. So the first thing is that I had this great idea because there's one space in my room, and I think most people's room, where you just have free shelf space, and that is the windowsills. It's just a free shelf. But of course, I know that if you expose books to light for a very long time, especially if you put them in the windowsill, it's going to yellow the pages, which I personally don't really care about that much, to be honest. Like, they're my books, they're gonna yellow eventually anyway, so I don't really mind if the process is sped up a little bit, but you know, you do want to be careful with your books, especially on the windowsill. I think they can also sometimes, it gets really cold and there can be condensation, can damage the pages. All kinds of things can happen. Again, I don't super mind that, but just want to say it to you in case you want to do it as well. But I also found a great solution to this problem, and that is that the windowsill could be a great place for temporary books. So I have these books that I already showed you that I planned on unhauling, and I also added one to it. This is Kiss Her Once for Me. It's a book I never finished. It's a romance book, but it's one of those romance books where the main character is already in love with the love interest, which is just not my thing. So I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this, but I'm sure I can make someone else very happy with it. So I have this pile of pretty cool, nicely editioned books. I never really know what to do with them because I really don't want to be that person that sells these really pretty fairy loot editions for $100 online. But I'm also afraid that if I bring them to a thrift store, it's not gonna end up with someone who's really looking for them, because I know a lot of people really want these kinds of books. So I want these kinds of books to end up with someone who really wants them. So I thought, why don't I just make a small little stack in my room by the window with these books, and then if I have friends coming over, it's like a little charity pile, but specifically for my friends. I think that's a really cute thing. Wouldn't it be fun if we all started doing this? Just make tiny little unhaul piles, and then we can all go, whenever we visit each other, we can pick out a book from each other. I think that would be very fun. So that is the current destination for these books. And then another book, just because I'm trying to get as many books off my shelf as possible. I have this beautiful vintage anthology of all of Oscar Wilde's books and plays and poems. It's beautiful and it's completely encased, and therefore I think safe to put on the windowsill. So just to make space on my shelves, I think I'm also gonna put this on the windowsill, and it's gonna look very nice. Okay, that's what I wanted to explain to you guys, and now let's continue to the third step, where I basically style all the little stacks throughout my room and make my room into a tiny little library everywhere. Okay, back to past, Leonie. I ended up putting my stack of Lent books from friends back with my TBR books again. It's not super aesthetic or anything, but it's just practical because this is where I'm most likely to see them, so I will actually read them. Also bought this fake dagger that I'm now using as a beautiful prop on my fantasy shelf. First off, I wanted to add some books to this little corner full of vintage biology prints that I like to collect. At first I tried adding the pile of Lent books here, but very quickly decided that this probably wouldn't be the best place for them. So I took this opportunity to make some more space on my shelves by taking out some biology related novels and displaying them here. And they also made a really great stand for my candles. Next up, I made some space on the windowsill. I normally use the space for a few plants, so I grouped those together and then used the freed up space to set up my little donation corner plus Oscar Wilde anthology. The windowsill next to that one I used to display some of my Penguin Great Ideas philosophy books. Because I normally split my read and unread books on my normal bookshelves, these editions are always separated from each other, which is a shame because they look best together, so I grouped them together in this little corner, both the read and the unread ones. Then I did some shuffling around and this is the end result for the windows. The next place I realized I could make some room for books was on my mantle. I have this Chinese lantern plant that I love, but I honestly needed to have a place a bit higher up so that it can properly continue growing, and I realized that books are actually a super easy way to prop something up. So underneath this little plant station, I put the stack of books that I made with my favorite genre of books, the fairy tale-esque adult fantasy. But when I realized how well this worked, I remembered that the plant behind it, my photos, also has a chronic too long problem, and I'd been looking for a way to give it a higher spot for a while now. So I grabbed more books to make an even higher stack for my photos, and it worked super well. I really love how this little corner worked out. It looks like a little garden witch library where books and plants come together, and I just love that vibe. I never had my books scattered around the room like this before, so we'll see how long I will keep it this way, if I can keep it clean, if it doesn't damage the book, we'll see. But for now, I just really like the way that it looks. I'm really glad I got to free up some space on my bookshelf. Let's be real, I've now created extra space for like maybe 5 extra books, so in a few months I'll probably have the same problem again. But I'm mostly just so happy that I finally found a solution for my hang plant problem, because now that I have more space to grow and hang. Wow, books are so versatile. I hope this video gave you some inspiration on how to rethink your bookshelves and rethink how you store books. I want to give a thank you to all of my patrons, with a special thanks to all of my elite library members, and a warm welcome to the newest elite member, Millie Burns. Like I said, this month we are reading Immortal Longings, so if you want to join that, you can join the Patreon. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon in another video next week. Goodbye!